In our last episode, we defended the castle from an attack by the Institute. By not supporting the Institute, Father has declared us and the Minutemen to be an enemy, and we are left with no other option than to take the fight to the Institute. For decades, the railroad has been looking for a way into the Institute, and they've failed to find one. Ever since they arrived, the Brotherhood has been trying to find the Institute, and they likewise have failed. But Sturges, after scouring Institute data that we retrieved on the network scanner, found a way into the Institute. If we give this same data to Desdemona, they don't find this way. If we give this data to Proctor Ingram, the Brotherhood misses it completely. But Sturges finds it. He told us that apparently there's a pipe on the surface that leads underground directly to the Institute. This pipe is apparently using water from the Charles to cool its fusion reactor. He marked the location on our map, and after fighting through raiders in Cambridge, we arrive on a bridge overlooking this pipe. He told us that the notes he read said that this intake pipe was highly radioactive, so popping some Rad-X, we can dive into the water, whereupon, sure enough, we find a pipe leading to pre-war Cambridge's Public Works maintenance area. We emerge in a brick room. There are two intake pipes partially submerged in this room, but they're covered with a grate. Climbing out of the water, we find a keypad on a wall, and using the login credentials that Sturges gave us, we can activate it. This unlocks the grate, blocking the entrance to the intake pipes. We also find a security door here, protected by an advanced locked terminal. I couldn't hack this, but if we could, inside we only find the option to open the security gate, which leads to a small room with an end-of-dungeon steamer trunk. The rightmost intake pipe is still closed, so we need to swim through the left intake pipe. This dumps us out into a room filled with waist-deep water. Climbing out, we can walk the perimeter of this room towards a blinking red light, but as we do, a turret discovers us. Looks like the Institute is fully aware of this potential security weakness. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled moving forward. At the end of this room, we find another pipe in the wall to the east. The pipe twists this way and that. After quite a walk, we arrive at the end and we can activate a hatch to emerge into a cement room at the bottom of a staircase. Climbing the stairs, we arrive in a room with a number of containers filled with scrap, a novice lock first aid kit, and an armor workbench. This room overlooks yet another room filled with pipes. Taking the staircase down, we find another partially flooded room, and a mole rat. Water from the Charles pours from pipes in the ceiling, and eventually we arrive at a crossroads. Moving east, we find a dead end. Moving west, we find a dead end. Our only path forward is to follow the red pipes in the ceiling to the east. As we move along, we see little gaps in the walls above us, and inside, hiding, is a ghoul. Oh, great. Where there's one ghoul, there are dozens. The water gets deeper. It's now up to our neck, and sure enough, the deeper we get, the more ghouls we see. With that, I think we've killed them all. We are again at another crossroads. Moving to the west, we find a dead end. Moving to the east, we find a dead end. And here we find a skeleton with its skull removed, standing next to some bars and a hacksaw. I wonder what kind of story we can infer from this. This leaves one path forward. We need to go down the path to the north. This section of Cambridge must be ancient. The bricks shoring up the sides of this tunnel are crumbling away, and we emerge into another flooded chamber. Moving south, we find a dead end, as well as a Nuka-Cola Quantum in a crate, which forces us to move north. Here we find a passageway guarded by turrets. We find two paths, to the west and to the east. Moving west first, we find a dead end. There's a suitcase back here, but that's about it. So turning east, we follow the tunnel until we hear voices.
Progress report?
Proper repairs are necessary to ensure fault does not reoccur.
Position cannot be properly defended. Haste is necessary.
It's a couple of Institute synths. The voices are coming from a room on the other side of this wall.
Finish repairs immediately. Continued exposure is ill-advised.
Fault is a Class 2 stress fracture. Repair protocol cannot be rushed.
Leaving this area at once is recommended. Time is critical.
Proper repairs are necessary to ensure fault does not reoccur.
Area scans incomplete. Insufficient determination of possible threats.
The one in charge wants to get out of there as quickly as possible. It's dangerous being this close to the surface. Who knows who might be watching? We can spare ourselves some trouble by taking these guys out now.
Destruction found you. Systems offline.
The odd thing about that encounter is one of the Gen 2 synths had a voice of a Gen 3 synth. I wonder exactly how long they've been there. The hole in the wall is too small for us to climb through. We need to find another way. Nearby, we find an expert-locked terminal controlling a nearby security door. There is a room on the other side, but I couldn't hack this thing. We have to find another way in. Next to this is another crumbling wall, but the holes are still too small. And so we move down the passageway, destroying a turret along the way. At last, we find a crumbling wall that we can pass through. This brings us to a workshop with a blinking red light. In this room, we find a number of machines, as well as a fusion generator. There's a doorway to the east leading to a staircase that's guarded by a turret. The turret was in a room to the north, so heading back towards the fusion generator, we can loot the fusion core, where we find an expert-locked gate that I couldn't pick. This gate forms a wall that boxes us into this room, so to proceed we need to go back to the doorway and take the stairs up to the south. At the top of the stairs we find a bunch of abandoned furniture. Chairs, trolleys, even a Nuka-Cola machine. Opening the door to the north, we find what appears to be a chemistry lab and a synth.
Shutting down.
With the room clear, we can pass by a wheelchair with a rocket toy on it to find a robotics terminal. Robotics Diagnostic Terminal, property of CIT, the Commonwealth Institute of Technology. User Animal signed in. We find two options. In the first, a simple request. Students, please refrain from using network handles for your login. We are making progress on tracking down the students who hacked all the public terminals to say Dean Blackstone licks butts on startup, and they will be prosecuted. Using your assigned school login IDs also ensures that students are given equal time for lab use, and ensures that we know who last used the lab in case of damages. It's a little frightening to think that the people who now run the Institute descended from students who hacked terminals to say that the dean licks butts. In the next one, we find a holotape, testing logs. Inside, two options. In the first, prototype. We found this robot locked in one of the secure labs. Looks military, and the limb servos are way beyond what I've been working with. Definitely not Robco. I wonder what kind of mechanical output these things can do. I'm going to set it up on a treadmill and start it off at 30% output, then ramp it up to 75% and collect the data. In the next one, I'm so screwed. I tried to stop the simulation after the servo output reached 50%, and the first chain snapped, but I didn't reach it in time, and that thing ran straight through the wall. Oh God, I'm gonna be in so much trouble. Okay, don't panic. Just put it back in the cart and bring it back to the lab and, oh crap, someone is coming. Sounds like a student at CIT before the war, this Animal was having a bit of fun. Let's see if we can find his prototype. There are bits and bobs and robot parts scattered all over the place. The door that the synth came out of leads to a hallway going north and south. The southern path leads to an elevator that's broken. A pushcart lies on top of a pre-war skeleton, an ammo box inside. The elevator is destroyed, and whatever floors of CIT it used to be able to go to have all been filled in with rubble. Moving north down the hallway, we find a door to the right. It appears to be a classroom. We see shelves and student desks all over the place. Oh! Oh! Those are cymbal-clacking monkeys. Right. I can't imagine what kind of pre-war story would make sense of this scene. A classroom filled with cymbal-clacking monkeys all facing a teacher's desk? On the desk is a first aid kit and an overdue book. The chalkboard is sadly blank, and beneath it is a novice-locked wall safe. Leaving the classroom, we can continue north down the hallway. There's a door to the left, and the end of this hallway is filled in with rubble. So going through the door, we arrive in a passage that leads back to the previous room where we killed the synths through a hole in the wall. And it's here where we find Animal's experiment. On the ground is a treadmill, and in the wall is a ruined assaultron. Animal said that this must be a military robot, which is true, the assaultron was a military robot, but it was also designed by Robco. I guess Animal just didn't know that. To finish off exploring this room, we can loot an ammo box and hack an expert-locked terminal to unlock a security door, which allows us to loot a shelf filled with purified water, some chems, and minor scrap. But with Animal's lab explored, we can pass back through the hole in the wall to the passageway. Peering through a window, we see a power armor workbench in an adjoining room. Moving forward, we recognize this. We're on the other side of the caged-off room, where we shot that turret through the cage. There's one of the holes in the walls that we peered through but couldn't fit through. Moving through a doorway, we find large water pumps next to another hole in the wall. We're getting close to the room with the two synths who are talking. The room that has the power armor workbench sadly doesn't have any power armor. All we find is a tool case and a little bit of scrap. But here we find a door leading to a restricted area, and at last we begin to recognize some Institute technology. A control switch is nearby, and we see Institute tables and furniture. I think we're getting close. Here we find a novice-locked security terminal. This we can hack. Hacking the terminal, we read, Checkpoint Bravo. Main menu, breach detected. Barometric drop detected in pipe section P13. Please conduct repairs after fixing leaks at D23, G14, G17, K12, M27, M31, and S74. Looks like the Institute has been sending their synths this far topside to conduct regular repairs. Next, we find security door control, and we can unlock the security door that was locked by an expert terminal that we saw just after killing those synths. On a table nearby are Institute pistols, ammunition, a stealth boy, a med kit, fusion cells, and cryogenic grenades. Passing through a door to the northwest, we arrive in the room where we killed the synths that were talking. There's a chemistry station on this upper level, and plenty of containers filled with scrap. On the ground floor, we find the bodies of the synths and the hole in the wall that we used to kill them through. In the middle of the room is a large pipe with an open hatch. Climbing inside, we can wade through the water, and at last, we arrive in the Institute. At the end of the pipe, we can open a hatch to emerge into what by now is a very familiar room. It's the relay room. The pipe led right to it. We have again infiltrated the Institute. All we have to do now is relay in the Minutemen. Accessing the terminal, we can load into it the Institute relay targeting sequence that Sturges gave us. Once loaded, we can initiate the remote relay sequence. Locking onto coordinates, scanning, scanning, Signal lock established. Relay sequence start. And as soon as we back out,
Man, that was something else. I guess I'm still in one piece. Everybody else made it? Good. So this is the Institute. They could have just held out down here forever. Why'd they need to come mess with us?
You're not having second thoughts, are you?
No, it's too late for that. They've shown that there's no way for us to coexist peacefully. If it's them or us, I choose us.
It doesn't matter now. Let's do what we came to do.
You're right.
I don't care why they did it. They're gonna pay.
You're damn right they are.
They think they're better than us.
They should have read their history. That hasn't ever turned out well. In any case, here we are. No turning back now. You're gonna need this. It's a fusion pulse charge. Once it's attached to the reactor, it can be detonated remotely. You get that on the reactor, and we can trigger an explosion that'll destroy everything the Institute has ever built. Just make sure we give the civilians a chance to escape before we blow the place. We're not here to commit mass murder. We better hurry. They're gonna realize what's going on before too long. Sturgis, you'd better get to work on this teleport of theirs. We need that thing running as soon as possible. You pull us back up as soon as we give the signal. And anyone from the Institute who wants out, you let them go, so long as they ain't shooting at you.
You got it, boss.
and with that, several more Minutemen relay into the room.
Don't worry, I got things under control here. You just get that charge planted on the reactor, okay?
From here on out, our raid on the Institute plays out much in the same way it did when we came here with the Railroad and the Brotherhood.
This isn't what I was expecting the Institute to look like.
Why would they attack us when they had all this?
I never imagined any place like this.
Heading down to the elevator, we find that the button doesn't work, and so we open the door to enter Old Robotics. We then fight through Old Robotics, destroying turrets and synths. At the bottom of this level, we can activate a pre-war sentry bot, which attacks nearby synths.
Get behind something!
Additionally, we could activate these pre-war protectrons to fight for us against the synths. With this room clear, we open a hatch in the floor that leads to a room below. Navigating through broken walls, down pipelined corridors, we open a door to Institute Bioscience.
Oh, so this is what it looks like. Man, no wonder they prefer it down here.
Once in Institute Bioscience, we can access a terminal to release the gorilla specimens, and then enter the room to destroy the synths and any hostile scientists. And if the gorillas aren't destroyed by the synths, we have to put them down ourselves. When clear, we can go through the southwestern door to enter the Institute atrium. And here we fight synths and coursers in never-ending waves until we hear Sturgis's voice over the PA.
Hey there, General. Found the reactor. Looks like you need to get yourself to the advanced systems area. Only, well, it's locked. I can't override it from here. Looks like the command can only come from the director's personal terminal. You're gonna need to get access to it somehow.
Notably, when we came here with both the Brotherhood and the Railroad, they attacked members of the Institute indiscriminately, even fleeing scientists. But when we come here with the Minutemen, they consciously avoid attacking Institute scientists, allowing the scientists to cower in a corner or flee. And like with the other two factions, we now have to enter the elevator in the middle of the atrium and take it to the tunnels that we can follow to enter Father's chamber. We find Sean lying sick in his bed. And the conversation we can have with him is identical to the conversations we can have with him when we come here for the Railroad or the Brotherhood.
All the enemies you've created, you can't imagine why I'd be standing here?
Perhaps I didn't think to count you among them.
To access Father's terminal, we can loot Sean's terminal password from the drawer right next to his terminal. And before we override the lockdown, we can initiate Evacuation Protocol BD2.
Attention all personnel. Evacuation order issued.
This guides all Institute scientists and synths towards evacuation points. And if we don't do this, failing to initiate the evacuation protocol has ramifications, as we'll explore soon. After initiating the evacuation order, we can lift the lockdown. And Sturgis comes on the PA.
All right, good job. Looks like that's opened things up enough for you to reach the reactor. Some other good news. I've almost got the teleporter working. Should be ready to pull you out whenever you need.
We then have to get to the reactor, and we fight through a few synths to get there. Moving into advanced systems, we kill a few synths in this room, and then open the door to the Institute reactor.
This must be the reactor. We'll cover you while you plant the charge. We only get one shot at this, remember? Good luck.
Moving down the hallway, we destroy these turrets, and then enter the reactor room, where we have the most difficult fight in the Institute. We lose a number of good Minutemen during this fight. It's almost impossible not to. The Minutemen are pretty squishy. They don't have very good armor. But once we succeed, we need to loot the reactor terminal password off the bodies of one of the two named legendary synths wearing black synth armor. We'll find one on the ground, and the other is on the gantry above the reactor.
Let's get this done, General.
Once we have the reactor password, we punch it into the reactor terminal. We initiate the reactor shutdown sequence, and then place the pulse charge on the reactor housing.
We need to get out of here and fast before they figure out what we've done. Sturgis, you reading me? We're done down here. Zap us back to the relay room. All right, Sturgis, we're done. Get us the hell out of here.
Yeah, I would, man. But, this kid showed up. Says he's the General's son.
Please, Dad, don't leave me here. I want to go with you.
And just like with the Railroad and Brotherhood endings, Synth Sean meets us in the relay room. If we try to relay out without talking to Sean...
All right, Sturgis. Fire it up.
But you didn't even talk to the kid. You're not gonna leave him here, are you?
Sturgis won't let us, and so we have to talk with Sean. But our conversation with Sean is identical to the previous times we've talked with him. We can either take him with us or leave him behind. If we choose to leave him behind...
You're seriously gonna leave that kid? Your own son? Here to burn?
Is there a problem, Sturgis?
No, Man, just forget it. We gotta get out of here.
There's no time to argue about this. Activate the relay.
Okay. Man, this is messed up.
It's none of your goddamn business, Sturgis. Activate the relay.
Yeah, all right. But you're one mean customer, you know that?
He's not my son. He's a synth.
Man, that's crazy. Ain't no limit to how low they'll sink. Relay's ready whenever you are, boss. Shall we?
Sturgis doesn't push back. When we came here with the Railroad, Tinker Tom saves his life no matter what we do.
He's not my son, Tom. He's a synth.
Oh, wow. Didn't see that coming. Still, though, we can't leave him. Look, I can't stand by and not do something. I'll make sure the kid gets somewhere safe, okay?
And when we came here with the Brotherhood, Proctor Ingram was incensed that we would consider leaving him until she learned that he was a synth.
Is there a problem, Proctor?
A problem? Hell yes, I have a problem. You're letting this kid get blown to bits. And he's your son. I think that qualifies.
He's a synth, Ingram. He's not really my son.
Are you kidding me? The Institute made synths that look like children? I don't even know what to say. Except that they deserve what's coming to them.
But when we come here with the Minutemen, as the General, Sturgis doesn't like it if we leave him behind, but he follows orders. Or, of course, we can take Sean with us.
Thank you for your cooperation.
All right. You can come with me.
Really? Do you mean it?
Yes, I mean it. Now let's get out of here.
I'm glad you are here to save me.
And when done, we tell Sturgis that we're ready.
I knew you could do it.
All right, Sturgis. Fire it up.
Didn't leave anything behind, did you? All set to get out of here?
You sure you know what you're doing here? This thing won't vaporize me, right?
Aw, come on. Have I ever let you down? You've got my word that it's all set up proper. Now, are we going? Or are we gonna stand here and jaw more?
No, not yet.
Okay. But, I don't think we ought to hang around here any longer than we have to.
Just give me a minute.
Okay, but we don't have too many minutes to spare here.
Absolutely. Let's get the hell out of here.
You got it. I'm gonna teleport you to the detonation site, then set it to shoot the kid here back to the castle. Now you press that button extra hard when you get there. I'll see you on the other side.
I'm ready. Let's get out of here.
Attention all personnel. Evacuation order issued. Authorization 1YR3.
Sturgis figured this was a safe distance outside the blast radius. Whenever you want to see humanity's best hope for the future go up in smoke, just hit that button.
Then, as we've done so many times before, we approach the detonator and flip the switch. With that, we beat the game and get the same ending that we got with the Railroad and the Brotherhood. Talking to Preston.
Hey there.
Holy shit. That was one hell of a bang, wasn't it? So that's it. The Institute is destroyed. It's finally over. You did issue the evacuation order, right? I didn't notice in all the chaos.
If we failed to issue the evacuation order...
I didn't have time to waste helping our enemies get away. They're all dead. Why does it matter? They were our enemies. No. Everyone in the Institute is dead. No. We were there to destroy the Institute, not help them escape.
My God. So we just killed everyone? This is gonna be a black mark on the Minutemen forever. As glad as I am that the Institute is gone, this wasn't the plan. Damn it, General. You've dragged us down to their level. It didn't have to be this way. What's done is done. People are still gonna need the Minutemen for a long time. The Institute was hardly the only threat out there. I guess we better get back to work.
But if we did issue the order...
Did you actually think I would kill everyone?
I wasn't really worried, General. But watching that explosion, I just wanted to make sure we didn't kill anyone we didn't absolutely have to.
I did. But there's no way to know how many people got out.
I'm sure most everyone got out. Remember, we didn't start this war.
I did. But now I wish I'd killed them all.
You did the right thing, General. I know you'll realize that one day.
Yeah. We gave everyone a chance to get out.
Good. I thought so. It was just watching that explosion. I just hope as many people as possible got out. I hate that we had to do that. But they left us no choice. It was war. But now, the war against the Institute is over. The way is now clear for the Commonwealth to finally come together and build something good for the future. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows from here on out.
Wasn't the Institute the main threat?
Definitely. I don't want to minimize what we've accomplished here today.
What, no sunshine and rainbows? Next you're gonna tell me I'm not getting a pony.
If I had any ponies to hand out, you'd be first on my list. We could never have gotten here without you, General.
I don't care about the Commonwealth. I just wanted to see the Institute destroyed.
I hope someday you can let go of your anger and see how much good you've actually done.
The Institute wasn't the Commonwealth's only problem. We've still got plenty to do.
I couldn't have said it better myself, General. The Institute was the most insidious threat we've ever faced. They kept the Commonwealth divided for centuries. But there are plenty of other problems left to deal with. I don't think the Minutemen are going to be out of a job for a long time yet. As much as I might wish it. We deserve to enjoy our victory. But soon enough, it's going to be time to get back to work.
We complete the quest, the nuclear option, and we destroy the Institute. Depending on our choices, either the Brotherhood or the Railroad, or both, are still alive. But it's also possible that at this point, the Brotherhood could be an enemy. And if that's the case, then we're not done yet. In order to make the Commonwealth safe, we have to face the Brotherhood, which we'll tackle in my next episode. If you don't want to miss it, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. If you like what I do and you want to support me, become a member here on YouTube, or you could become a patron on Patreon. You could buy my plush or buy some of my merch. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with the next episode in the full story of the Minutemen.